clearly youth doesn't stop people from being totally evil. Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 teen movie villains.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're looking at the best teenage villains in school-based or coming-of-age films. Although a movie doesn't have to be classified strictly as a teen movie to qualify, genres like animation, horror, and superhero flicks will be omitted. As some of these villains initially play nice, please note that a spoiler warning is now in effect.
Hey!
Number 10, Courtney Shayne, Jawbreaker.
Alright, bitches, out. Move it! That means you too, Clarkson.
We can think of a lot of movie mean girls that would merit including on this list, but of all the evil popular girls in film, few compare to Jawbreaker's Courtney Shayne, a fearsome tyrant who refuses to even bother masking her sociopathic tendencies.
What if Miss Sherwood took it? We kill her. Did you see her face?
While other villains at least recognize murder as something not to be taken lightly, Courtney seems blissfully unaware or simply uninterested in any possible consequences outside of her immediate high school setting. Rose McGowan portrays Courtney as an unabashedly savage monster and easily steals the movie. Number 9, Nancy Downs, The Craft.
You didn't even pay the bill. I paid you the money. You didn't pay the bill. What are you doing home so late? You're late.
Some villains are born maniacal, while others require the interference of nurture to help them bare their fangs. Nancy is quite sympathetic as a helpless teenager seeking to gain a degree of control through witchcraft. As tends to be the case, power corrupts and Nancy begins to abuse her powers in order to exact revenge on those who wronged her.
Don't you ever hit me!
What the hell is that? Oh my god! Oh god!
Engaging in dangerous magic and a hint of murder, Nancy's transition from a troubled teenager to a practitioner of the dark arts happens swiftly and leaves behind a fair few victims along the way. Number 8, Johnny Lawrence, The Karate Kid. Be it just one of the guys or back to school, William Zabka spent the majority of the 80s redefining the term teen movie villain. Out of all the actors' roles, none stand above the Karate Kid's Johnny Lawrence, an arrogant bully fond of beating up unlucky and usually vulnerable students.
You couldn't leave well enough alone. Could you, little twerp? No, you had to push it. Well, now you're gonna pay.
Johnny is so unusually relentless that Daniel LaRusso goes as far as to learn karate in the hope of finally ending the abuse. The Karate Kid's ending and subsequent sequels somewhat redeem Johnny, but there is no denying the character seems to revel in the role of the villain during the original movie.
No, you're the loser, man.
Oh, I'm the loser, huh?
Yeah.
Now who's a loser?
Number 7, Marianne Bryant, Easy A.
What the hell are you looking at, Sister Christian? Just a couple of admitted whores.
Blending holier-than-thou arrogance with good old-fashioned group bullying, Amanda Bynes' Marianne broadcasts the news about Olive's departed virginity, which is actually a lie, to the entire student body.
I'm not the one that you have to answer to for your depraved behavior. There's a higher power that will judge you for your indecency.
Tom Cruise.
In the guise of preventing Olive's soul from an eternity of hellfire and brimstone, Marianne uses her lackeys to endlessly torment the protagonist, going as far as to try and force Olive to quit school. While Olive technically gets the ball rolling and ultimately leans into her easy reputation, Marianne's rumor causes most of the issues in the story, while the villain pretends to only be trying to help.
We need to pray for her.
Amen.
But we also need to get her the hell out of here.
Number 6, Steph McKee, Pretty in Pink.
Now, I want to know when it is you and I are going to get together and do something.
Try never.
Well, I'm talking about more than sex here.
No, you're not.
Certain actors can elevate an unspectacular role to something truly special, and James Spader happens to be one of those performers. The John Hughes-written Pretty in Pink is a quintessential 80s teen comedy, and it's hard to imagine the self-absorbed and vindictive Steph McKee working so well without Spader charismatically chewing up the scenery and looking suave while doing it.
You know, if you want your little piece of low-grade ass, fine, take it, but if you do, you're not going to have a friend.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
For the most part, Steph is quite a shallow character, and may as well have the word bully stamped upon his forehead, but the performance makes this villain impossible to resist.
You buy everything, Steph. You couldn't buy her, though. That's what's killing you, isn't it? Steph.
Listen,
Number 5. Buford Biff Tannen, Back to the Future.
Don't be so gullible, McFly. Got the place fixed up nice, on McFly.
Is there a more iconic 80s teen villain than Back to the Future's antagonist? If nothing else, director Robert Zemeckis and actor Thomas F. Wilson deserve praise for making a character whose real name is Buford seem even the slightest bit intimidating.
You realize what would happen if I hand in my homework in your handwriting? I'll get kicked out of school. You wouldn't want that to happen, would you?
Tormenting the timid George to no end, Biff is the type of person who refuses to take no for an answer, a personality trait that produces a rather harrowing scene involving Marty's mom Lorraine. While Back to the Future Part 2 basically turns Biff into a supervillain, the first film's bully holds a special place in teen movie villain history.
All right, McFly. You're asking for it.
Number 4. Jim, Edward Scissorhands.
What, he's a little shocked. What do you care?
A little shock.
As a counter to Edward's naivete, gentleness, and Frankensteinian appearance, Jim is deceitful, prone to violence, and an all-American jock. While the villain does not literally create Edward, Jim spreads lies that tap into people's already present fears and successfully turns the public against the sensitive hero. In some ways, Jim is responsible for creating Edward's monster reputation, which he ultimately uses to motivate a mob to hunt him down. Jim is unfortunately charismatic and popular enough to convince people to take his side, though in the end he definitely gets what was coming to him. Number 3. Jason J.D. Dean, Heathers.
I don't know, probably row out to the middle of a lake somewhere, bring along a bottle of tequila, my sax, and some Bach.
The conniving Heather trio may as well be kindergarten bullies next to Christian Slater's gleefully psychotic outcast. Dark and mysterious, Jason Dean talks a good game and temporarily convinces Veronica, Heather's protagonist, into embracing a life of revenge and crime. Although JD takes things a step too far by throwing in a touch of homicide.
Make it look like they shot each other, and by the time they regain consciousness, they'll be the laughingstock of the whole school.
Known for taking off on tangents about society's propensity for self-destruction, JD charms Veronica and the audience before steadily exposing his true colors. Or maybe Dean's villainous nature was always apparent, but nobody seemed to care.
Now that you're dead, what are you gonna do with your life?
Number 2. Catherine Murtoy, Cruel Intentions.
Because I'm the only person you can't have and it kills you.
A retelling of Dangerous Liaisons, but in high school, Cruel Intentions is about as subtle as a brick to the face. However, this bluntness helps make Catherine one of cinema's standout teen villains. Born to a wealthy family, Catherine pretends to be an angelic student to the outside world, while privately scheming on ways to mess with people's lives alongside her stepbrother.
You're just a toy, Sebastian. A little toy I like to play with.
While Catherine makes a few poignant comments relating to society's gender biases, this hardly changes the fact that she thoroughly enjoys bending innocent victims around her finger. Intelligent, cruel, and oddly fragile, Catherine is a complex, albeit unapologetic, villain. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Let's just send down the bucket. Come on.
See, guys, wishes do come true.
He was an abusive alcoholic misogynist who squandered half his life hanging around Picasso trying to nail his leftovers.
As opposed to a bitter, self-righteous hag who has no friends.
The one thing that I'm glad about is that you get her used.
I guess I should just tell you that Jenna's decided to go in a different direction with a more established photographer.
Maya and Mia. Oh, but listen, Jen, my friends and I were wondering, this sweater you're wearing, was it designed for you, or did the knitting machine just blow up?
Number 1, Regina George, Mean Girls.
She's the queen bee, the star. Those other two are just her little workers.
Regina George. How do I even begin to explain Regina George?
Cinema's definitive mean girl, North Shore High School's Queen Bee more than lives up to her name. As the leader of the Plastics, Regina rules the school halls through sheer intimidation, even if the rich girl is way too fabulous to resort to overly obvious bullying tactics.
I'm not mad. I mean, I guess she just likes the attention.
See, Gretch, I told you she's not mad at you.
I can't believe you think I like attention.
Okay, love ya. See you tomorrow.
Showing a remarkable talent for pinpointing a person's insecurities, Regina's natural beauty and inherent drive for authority help establish the antagonist as the school's icon, one adored and despised by the majority of students. While villainous in nature, Regina's popularity is quite easy to accept.
Do you know what everyone says about you? They say that you're a homeschooled jungle freak who's a less hot version of me.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.